Hello, today we are going to present P&G's organizational structure. The team members are three: González Ábalos Yasmín, Pérez Guerra Paola Samantha, Sotolino Amy Michelle. We are going to be presenting today for you.
In 1837, William Procter and James Gamble started a simple soap and candle business on the banks of the Ohio River in Cincinnati. Today, billions of people use P&G products all over the world, which raises the question, how can one company serve so many people? Well, at P&G, everything begins with the consumer. Its purpose is to touch and improve lives with brands and products of superior quality and value. The company innovates to delight consumers with meaningful and noticeable superiority across its products, packaging, communication, retail execution, and value. As a result, P&G has some of the most trusted and well-known brands in the world. Brands used every day like Tide, Gillette, Pampers, Head & Shoulders, and dozens more. This company has a corporate structure arranged by divisions. All of its brands are organized into 6 sector business units, also known as SBUs. These are Fabric and Home Care, Baby and Feminine Care, Family Care and P&G Ventures, Grooming, Beauty, which includes Hair Care and Skin and Personal Care, and finally, Health Care, which includes Oral Care and Personal Health Care. The SBUs develop, manufacture, and market its brands and products. Also, they divide its global market into 2 categories: focused markets, which are the largest and more profitable markets, and enterprise markets that represent the rest of the world. In each focused market, market operations work across the 6 SBUs on scaled market services and capabilities, including customer teams, transportation, warehousing, logistics, and to represent P&G externally. Here, the SBUs have sales, profit, cash, and value creation responsibility. The rest of the world is organized into enterprise markets that are a separate unit with sales, profit, and value creation responsibility. The SBUs provide innovation plans, supply plans, and operating frameworks for the enterprise markets to deliver these mutually agreed business goals. Enterprise markets are important to the future of P&G because of their attractive market growth rates, and the intent is to accelerate this growth and value creation. Supporting the SBUs, market operations and enterprise markets are key corporate resources focused on scaled services, governance, stewardship, and areas requiring high mastery, such as global business services, IT, legal, and tax. P&G Company, its structure, and its people are focused on winning through brands and products that create value for customers, improving everyday life all over the world.
In the second point, we will show you the type of structure P&G has. The Procter & Gamble Company, most known like P&G, has a product type divisional organization structure. What is a product-based structure? In a product-based structure, also known like divisional structure, like we said before, the employees are assigned into self-contained division according to 3: the particular line of products or services they produce, the customers they deal with, and the geographic area they serve in. And this is the one that P&G has. Here we could see it. Before, it used to have just 4 divisions, but now there's 6, which we could see above here. It has always managed to have the divisional structure, but now in these days, it's a little bit bigger. It's the only difference. Before, they were 4 divisions. Now we have 6 divisions in P&G's divisional structure. The divisional structure is a type of organization structure that groups each organizational function into a division. These divisions can correspond either to products or geographics. In this case, P&G has both. It has products and geographic divisions. Each division contains all the necessary resources and functions within to support the product line or the geographic area. For example, finance or the marketing department.
Then we have the mechanism and essence. Within the control mechanism is the formalization, which is the one that P&G manages. It is conformed by 4 aspects. The first one is the manual. It contains the global standards to uphold purposes, values, and principles. It provides guidance on a specific situation, questions, or concerns. And also, this manual applies to everyone from the logistic managers to the secretariat, for example. Then it is the policies. It will be applied to the employees, the conflict-free minerals, and human rights. For the employees, they hold themselves for operating with trust and integrity, for stepping up as leaders, and for competing to win. In the conflict-free minerals, the company will be truly committed to ensure they don't use minerals like tin, tantalum, tungsten, and gold. And finally, human rights. They are committed to maintain safe, healthy, secure, and productive work environment. After that, we have the budget, and we can see that the increases and decreases in US dollars from 2009 to 2019 of the company. For example, in 2009, as we can see, it recorded $3.92 billion of dollars, and in 2019, it only increased just a bit. Finally, for the action plans, they have the goals saving energy, responsible consumption, reuse and refill, since they are creating more bottles with 60% less plastic. And finally, 2 goals called Ambition 2030 and Ambition 2040. For the first one, it is in charge of reducing the carbon emissions, and for the second one, it is to achieve net zero greenhouse gas. On the other hand, the sense of the company, the functional reports that P&G manage are the financial statements and sales report. And for the fiscal year, organic sales grew more than 6%, core earnings per share were 11%, adjusted free cash flow productivity was 107, and for the e-commerce, sales were up 35% for a year, and it was in total 10 billion in sales. And that'll be all for us. Thank you so much. And then we have the sources.